thing about katseye. Where do I even start? Katseye has been such an enigma for me. As someone who watched Popstar Academy and Dream Academy, I was interested in seeing the outcome of this new global girl group that Hybe x Geffen claimed would encapsulate the essence of K-pop, but with a more Western approach, the best of both worlds, if you will. With members like Sophia and Laura, two strong vocalists who can easily carry a song, Megan and Daniela, two naturally gifted dancers with captivating stage presence, Manon, a stunning and alluring visual, and Yoonjae, the sweet but charming maknae, who would surely help the global girl group capture the attention of a Korean audience. I was for certain that katseye had everything it took to be successful, and all they needed was a competent producer and songwriter who had an ear for moderately good music. Truth be told, the way katseye was marketed early on, even prior to debut, I knew the personalities and appeal of the girls would be pushed to the forefront, as most survival show groups are. Though I was expecting a group like katseye to release mainstream commercial pop music that wasn't necessarily anything unique, but at least would be catchy enough for people to grasp onto, until their company was confident enough to take risks. And that's what followed next, with releases like Debut and Touch. While I personally wasn't fond of Debut and thought Touch was catchy but got old after a few listens, it was a sound that I expected from katseye, what Hybe is typically good at. Catchy, easy listening, uninteresting teen pop music that has mainstream appeal. I knew katseye wouldn't necessarily be for me after the release of Touch, but I had hopes to see an improvement in quality as they continued on as a group, since Touch was miles better than their debut song. But then we got gnarly. Look, I get the concept of nonsensical fun songs, but it's very obvious when a song is meant to create discourse and start conversation. And not in a I have something meaningful to say behind all the chaos way, but more so the confusion and messiness of it all will garner attention and create manufactured impact. And unfortunately, Hybe x Geffen was successful in their goal, with Gnarly's reception going from negative to overly positive after their stage performance on M Countdown. While not necessarily being their biggest song, that title is reserved for their follow-up song, Gabriella, with 500 million streams. Gnarly, however, was many people's first showing of katseye and would leave a lasting impression for better and for worse. With a sudden switch of perception, fans, casual listeners, and the common TikTok trend cycle, Gnarly was a defining moment in how Hybe x Geffen would proceed. At first, the vision was hazy, and there was no solid identity within their music. Sure, Gnarly was received somewhat well by people mainly forcing themselves to endure the alchemy of a song, but it would be a flash in the pan moment and we would move on to a more defining sound. Surely there wouldn't be another Gnarly in the foreseeable future, since the album the song belonged to was completely different sonically, and surely we would be getting more songs like Game Boy, Gabriella, and MIA. Songs that gave fans a hint of hope that katseye would find their identity, right?
I'm getting out of here.
Eat zucchini. Eat zucchini. Eat zucchini. Eat zucchini.
Where do I even start? Internet Girl was previewed during katseye's New York leg of their tour in November of last year and would be released in January, with all 5 girls giving an incredible and energetic performance. And sure, I thought the song was terrible and was an attempt to continue riding the high of Gnarly, but I expected everyone to give this song the reception Gnarly had received after the M Countdown stage. But I was wrong. Something had switched, something that brought shivers down the spines of fans, the idea of Gnarly becoming their signature sound, and that was the underlying issue. Which intrigued me because the same fans that gave a pass to Gnarly, but with tea and fried chicken, were the same fans that were now confused and baffled that the existence of Internet Girl was even possible. You see, it's easy to just simplify Gnarly as being a quirky and intentionally unserious song, but with the reality that this would be a reoccurring sound within their discography, icons quickly had a change of attitude. Before the official release, there were still fans willing to give the song a chance and pick apart the few good aspects about it, like the soft rock instrumental and Megan's pre-chorus line. But with some aspects being diluted, for example Megan's voice being replaced with a free sample memo of a baby's voice, it was clear that the majority wouldn't be easily swayed, as they had been with Gnarly. Of course, there will always be fans who will stream and support anything their favorite group comes out with, and people who hate watch, not really comprehending that their views and streams will count as support. However, I think the popular consensus is that katseye and their longevity as a group will be determined by the quality of their music and if it can hold up in the years to come, and Hybe x Geffen is essentially setting them up for failure. It even called into question on whether or not katseye was simply a test subject for their label's future prospects. One side argues that Hybe x Geffen are trying to steadily ease people into becoming more accepting of AI-generated music, a theory supported by sources reporting that Hybe has recently made an investment in an AI startup called Supertone in 2023. Another possibility being that katseye is being used as an experiment to see what sticks, since it seems like there was no pre-planned direction for them, as some of the girls within the group was not what Hybe x Geffen envisioned, and the group that will most likely have more of an investment in quality will be their new girl group Prelude, which consists of ex-Dream Academy trainees that were popular amongst Geffen's management team. Of course, these are just theories that are being shared, but you have to wonder if there's any validity to them when you're getting music that sounds like it was made off of Suno. My overall thoughts on this situation is that I hope Katseye is able to evolve and be given music that speaks to their talent, rather than rely on TikTok virality that will not be able to carry them forever.